I know they're not because I'm looking for the bros. What?
Call Me If You Get Lost. This is the newest and 6th studio album from rapper, singer-songwriter Tyler, the Creator. And Tyler has been incredibly consistent over the years since he started in 2011, putting out an album every 2 years since then. And with regards to my thoughts on him, I like him quite a bit. Not only his music, but just the fact that his art really expands outside of music. He's also done his fair share of acting, mainly in television. One of my favorite roles was his cameo in Regular Show, which was a show that I loved growing up. And of course, at the time, I didn't know it was him. But looking back now, it's really cool to watch that episode knowing that that's him, and he actually voices 2 different characters. He's also produced other artists and been a part of other notable projects such as Odd Future, and he's just a very versatile guy, not just with his music but really just anything he does in general. And this album is no different. Just to cut to the chase, I thought that this was an excellent record, and after listening to it a couple times, this to me sounded like an album that was very personal and something that Tyler wrote pretty much about himself, or at least most of it. And apparently I'm not the only one who thinks that. I've done some research and there are other people who have those thoughts as well. And it all came together really well, as I think that most of the tracks on here are worth giving a listen. We have the intro, Sir Baudelaire, featuring DJ Drama, which by no means is a great song. It's very short. It's only like a minute and a half. And it does what it needs to do for an intro. It starts off the album well. The next track, Corso, is a pretty good one with a nice instrumental driven by what I believe was a tambourine. And I heard that A$AP Rocky was going to be featured on this, but he actually didn't respond to Tyler's request, which is kind of sad, but I think it's fine because the song's still good without him. This, however, was followed up by the track Lemonhead, which I didn't think was that good personally. This one features 42 Drug and is yet another song that has a pandemic reference. You might remember me saying in my Brockhampton review, I'm just not a fan of, at least at the moment. Maybe in the future, you know, when I'm listening to this album and that album, I'll have a bit of a chuckle about it, thinking about this period of time in my life, but right now, it's not my thing. I'm not a fan of it. But I just kind of like the line that was a reference to TLC. I thought that was cool. What's Your Name is the next track featuring Young Boy Never Broke Again and Ty Dolla $ign. And I thought this was a good track. It had some nice backup vocals in it. And I do find the concept behind this one to be somewhat comical, about Tyler falling in love with this woman before he finds out that she's actually taken. Lumberjack was one that I really liked a lot, especially with regards to the instrumental. It was really badass, and I can just imagine myself listening to this with headphones, walking down the middle of the street, just like, yeah, I don't care. What?
Come at me, bro. Come at me.
Hot Wind Blows featuring Lil Wayne is a really good one. I like the flute in this one as well as the keys being played, and the feature by Lil Wayne I think is one of the best on the entire album. And I really like how this song and some other ones on this album really tease at this big beat drop that could happen, but it never happens, and I like that. I like that they're sort of toying with the audience. It goes against their expectations, and I think that's pretty cool. The track Massa was a good one with some interesting lyrics, definitely very honest and to the point. He's really just telling the truth right here. He's not lying. And I really like the flow in this one. It gradually gets more and more intense as the song goes on. In general, I just really like Tyler's flow and the amount of rasp that he has in his voice. Run It Up featuring Tizo Touchdown was a good track, but I wasn't really a fan of the horn arrangements in this one. I just think those kinds of horn arrangements pop up in quite a bit of hip-hop songs, like in that song Laugh Now, Cry Later, which came out last year. But it was still a solid tune, and I did find the hook to be very catchy on this one. I like the song Manifesto featuring Download Genesis. I thought the intro was pretty funny. And his feature especially I thought really stood out in this one, especially some of the lyrics that he provides and some of the things he's talking about. I do definitely find to be interesting. Next, we have one of my favorite tracks on this entire record, which was Sweet I Thought You Wanted to Dance, which features Brent Faiyaz and Fanny Hughes. I hope I said that right. And this song I just thought was amazing, and the fact that it's almost 10 minutes long, it's just even more mind-blowing to me how much I enjoyed this one. Musically speaking, this was a very diverse track as well, not only with the different types of genres that are featured, but also the different chord changes. I mean, I wasn't counting, but there was probably at least like 3, 4, 5 different chord changes, which if you listen to pop music at all, like modern pop music, is very rare. And not only was the music great, but the features were great as well. They killed it. Everyone in this song just killed it. The next song, Mama Talk, is actually this voice memo from Tyler's real life mother. And she's basically just talking about how much she loves her kids and what she would do if she had to protect them. I mean, it's okay. It connects the album as a whole together well. Rise featuring Daisy World was another good one. There wasn't really anything that stood out that much to me with this song. It was just another good one, another good track on the album. The next track is the second interlude on this thing, which just features Tyler talking about how grateful he is for his success and just how it doesn't take anything for granted, and he just feels very blessed with the life that he lives. The song Juggernaut was one that I really shouldn't have liked at all, honestly, because it feels very crunky to me. And crunk, if you're not aware, was a genre of hip-hop that was popular, say, early to mid, or maybe more like mid to late 2000s, and I'm really not a fan of that era of hip-hop. Like, personally, I think it's even worse than the trap era that we're kind of just coming out of now. But I did actually end up liking this one. I liked the features from Lil Uzi Vert, and surprisingly, Pharrell Williams kind of killed it on this one. I wasn't too familiar with his rapping, really. I was more well-versed with his singer-songwriter kind of stuff, and a lot of other things he had been featured on. But I was surprised, man. I mean, he can actually rap pretty well. He did good. The next track, Wilshire, is one that I've heard a lot of people like a lot, and I think most people consider this to be one of the best songs on the album. And I thought it was cool. It was nice and groovy and smooth, but this one I did feel was a little bit too long. Without a doubt, Tyler is definitely going off on this one. He definitely has something to say. But for me personally, it just wasn't diverse musically. It was just kind of the same instrumental over and over again, and it just got a little bit boring at a point. I think maybe you should cut this down to 4.5, or maybe 5 minutes at most. I would have liked it, but this goes on for 8.5 minutes, and it definitely felt quite bloated to me. And the last track, Safari, ends things on a good note. And I think this one actually ties into the album cover, which is what looks like his passport. And this, I would presume, is kind of about his vacation that he's on now, which could also be a reference to how now in today's world more people are starting to travel again. And I do find that interesting. I think that's a cool approach to end this album. So yeah, if you haven't been able to tell from everything I've said, I really like this album a lot. It was a big breath of fresh air, for me at least, because it had been, I want to say, roughly a month and a half or so since I listened to a new release that I liked this much. And I didn't do a review for that album, but I will talk about it in my things I didn't review from, I'm thinking I'll probably do June through August of this year. But yeah, this was a great album with a very interesting concept and plenty of great tracks along the way. And I'm going to give Call Me If You Get Lost an A-. Let me guys know what you think about this album. If you have heard it, what are some of your favorite tracks? Or if you want to, let me know what some of your least favorite tracks are. I'm kind of late to the party because this did come out a month ago, but I'm very glad I listened to it because I liked it a lot, like I've said a couple times now. But let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Can't believe I actually just said that. And thank you so much again for watching. Take it easy, everyone. Peace out.